To everyone, welcome. For those that are brave enough to put their beautiful faces on the Zoom, it's nice to see your faces, and it's nice to see that other people are joining and at least are able to hopefully hear. I'm Katie Huff Mortensen in Lolo, Montana. I've been with the company it'll be starting 26 years on, I think, April 22nd. So for you that don't know me, my background is I'm a registered nurse and did that for 13, 14 years and then went into pharmaceutical sales. I did that for 5 years. At the same time, I joined Legal Shield. So the reason why I tell people that is because you can do this part-time, you can do this full-time. And at that point, I was doing it part-time. So I was working in pharmaceuticals, and then I was doing recruiting and building a team and doing one-on-one sales in the evening until they wanted me to move to Victoria, Texas. So if any of you are from Texas, you may know where Victoria is, but I had to get online and Google, and when nothing showed up, that was my sign. I wasn't moving to Victoria, Texas. So, and I have natural curly hair, and I would have looked like Cousin It down there, and I don't know how to speak Espanol. So that was God's way of saying, I think you're done, which was a blessing and a prayer that was answered. And I jumped into Legal Shield full-time in 2004. And at that time, I was a single person. And so I needed to replace my pharmaceutical income. And so I needed to get as many sales as fast as I could. And so that's when I was working in the employee benefits, and I have been all along with team building and have had many roles. I'm grateful that I get to share our incredible business and our benefits and our services with, I think enrolled over 10,000 plus policies. So I'm grateful for that. I drove 35 to 40,000 miles a year during that time before COVID. And now I get to be, I was a regional trainer. I've had all kinds of different titles and different things I've done, but most importantly is obviously sharing the small business and small group now with like Mr. and Mrs. Bird on the team as well. And the training, if you haven't been to one of those, I would strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to get to one in your local market, because I can tell you this, even after 25 years, I love what we do and get to do what we love, but I can tell you there's peaks and valleys in everything, as you know. And after I went to the Darnell Self and Melissa Peters training, if that gets anywhere close to you, I would encourage you to go, because it resuscitated my business overnight. I'm back knocking on doors, shaking hands, kissing babies, marketing small business and opening up groups and just sharing the love of Legal Shield and what we can do to make a difference in people's lives, and of course provide a part-time secondary income or a career change. So Legal Shield's been a blessing, a great thing for me in my life, and I'm sure for most of the people that have been around. But I just wanted to at least give you a little bit of history on that I did my first small business, small group training on Saturday, and we had brand new people. We had people that like insurance people that had never been to a class. They came as well, which is great, because a lot of times people don't think that our insurance people or professional sailors would come to the small business, small group, but they are, which is awesome. And then we had some brand new people. So it's growing, and it's an incredible training. And Teresa Johnson obviously is a part of that council, as well as the Birds and myself.
Yeah, we're going to go out to her as well. We'll go out to her as
and
well.
It's been amazing. And that was a 5-hour training, and people walked away excited and inspired and encouraged, because we get to do a lot of just role playing and talking with each other throughout that process. And it's intense, and you usually hit the ground running when you walk out. So that's what I would offer up, and we can do whatever you want, Jane, and go around to the other gals, or if people have questions, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that people would have that would like to ask.
I did that training. I drove with Jim Level, who's also on the call tonight. We drove 4 hours to Houston. Alistair Edwards and Octavius Hillman were our trainers. It was excellent. It was really
Good.
excellent. And you're right. And when I hope everybody heard, if you haven't been in Legal Shield that long, how long Katie's been in the company and she still took a new training. We will always continue to take these trainings because every time there's something new to learn, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it was an incredible training.
You can teach
I
an old
see.
dog a new trick, right?
Absolutely. And you guys, be bold, be leaders, put your hands up. You can use your reactions button at the bottom. If I don't see hands, I'm going to move on and go over to Carlos Bird, and then we'll listen to Teresa as well. So Carlos, what's new in the world of ID Shield, or what do you have going on?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Well, you said what's
Awesome.
just share quick about our background. Sheila and I have been in the business just over 20 years. And we've been more excited than we are today because Katie just talked about Sheila's background is registered nurse only with Ford Motor.
We're losing you, Carlos.
Company. We both left our jobs. Can you hear me?
It keeps breaking up.
Uh-oh. I must be on an unstable internet. um, are you able to hear me now?
We can hear you right now. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep going. If I break up, let me. I went with Legal Shield 4 times, and that allowed us to move to Georgia, actually from Michigan. And I guess the reason I'm so excited is because of the new training that, you know, we've had products when she first got, there was only Legal Shield. And then there was the identity theft that was just being offered. But there's so many came along since then that, after we started doing APT training, when that went away, there were more products that were still there was training that was needed. So this couldn't have been a better time to have these classes that is being offered today so that these products, and it is really exciting now because we're starting to see more business, more and more movement in the area, but offer the products customers and because we're explaining it better, because we're learning it. So I just encourage, if you have not went, and just to be clear, and I know that because the name small business, small ghost got confused that this is another group school, but it's not. It's strictly about learning about the products, and that's what we just had to change the name to Full Service Associate, because this allows us to understand all of our products that we have that we can offer to different segments. Haven't been to go to the class because we're all, no matter how, me and Sheila still learning 20 years, we are still learning, and hopefully people will go to that class so that they can pick up on what everybody else is learning in the business. So back to you, Jane.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. We're all learning from each other. And that's how we build each other up, right? You broke up a little. It's always when you had something good to say, it like went away. But we got the idea. I'm going to go out now to Teresa Johnson, who's also very active, and she's been giving some incredible training and presentations and everything. Teresa.
Thank you so much, Jane. So I agree with my colleagues in terms of the training. Everyone should definitely make sure that they take the class. I mean, you don't have to be small business certified, but you do need to be certified with the groups in itself. And so even though you may have been doing small business for years, um, it's in your best interest to just come back, take the class, just so that you could be relevant for the new associate, for the new person that you're bringing on your team, for that new GA or that new broker that's coming on your team. That's why you have continuing education. Well, this is continuing education here. And I love the fact that we have now changed the name, as Carlos had mentioned, to full service training. Full service means we're not trying to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, this is business solution over here. In fact, I don't hear business solution very often as much as we used to, because we want to become full service associates. We want to be able to market the legal plan, the ID Shield, the small business plans. I mean, to be able to offer the small business plan to a business owner who has employees. Now you can offer it not only to that business owner for the business entity, but now you can say, Mr. and Miss Business Owner, you also want to get the service to protect you and your family. And then, oh, by the way, if you have employees, then let's get your employees signed up. Now, instead of paying the full price, retail price, to have the membership, personal membership, you can now have it at a 35% discount. So a huge difference. Also, like, some nuances where if you have a victim, if you're a victim of an identity theft before you sign up for the service, that's pre-existing. However, if I might say, well, Katie, where do you work? Katie tells me she's been a victim of identity theft and she wants to sign up. Well, great. I can sign you up, Katie, but let me ask you this, Katie, where do you work? Oh, okay. Would you mind making an introduction to me to your HR person or whoever handles your benefits? And this way, if they decide to sign up, now, Katie, we're going to cover pre-existing identity theft issues. See, that's only offered in the group arena. That's not offered in our regular membership side. So, this is one of the best ways to be full service. And you know what? John and Darcy Hoffman have been talking about being full service for years. For years. Now we're making that a reality for all of us. It's really coming circle. I'm trying to say circle. It's coming full circle for all of us. And, it's really about, don't just take that class one time. I think my colleagues will agree. It's a lot of information in 5 hours, and you can feel overwhelmed. I'm a trainer. In 5 hours, we just did the class yesterday. I had to take Sunday to relax. It was a self-care day because I needed to relax. It's just so intense, but it can be overwhelming. But guess what? Repetition is the mother of all skills. The more you go back and take the class, the more you're going to start to feel comfortable with it. But don't just take the class and come back and take the class and come back and take the class. No, take the class, go out and do the activity, come back now and take the class again, because things are going to seem different to you at that point. So it's a process, and we've got a support team to help you every step of the way. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. The council, we're here to work with you. We've got field trainers who are going to be there to lock arms with you. Even once a week, we're doing support calls to help you and to celebrate you. So we just did ours today. I have 6 states because I partner with another person that's a council member, and we do all of our trainings together. So combined, we have 6 states. But guess what? We love that because we're able to help so many people, and we have that support call. We have other field trainers that we can point people to. I mean, it's the best of both worlds, the absolute best of both worlds, with incentives that are offered to you. And the last thing I want to say is, make sure that you're looking at the Small Business Small Group Facebook page, because in there we've got other things that we do during the week, Monday through Friday. we have an opportunity call that you can plug into. The opportunity call doesn't just talk about the legal and ID shield, but we also talk about the small business. So it's a small business opportunity call that you can bring your guest on and they can take a look at what we have to offer. And then on Wednesday, and Jane was on that, and several of you have been on there, but we do smiling and dialing. I know we have the Blitz on Tuesday, but this one is a little bit different in that the first 30 minutes, we're going to do training. The second 30 minutes, you're going to actually do some dialing, smiling and dialing just to set an appointment. That's it. We'll even tell you what you need to say. And then the last 30 minutes, we come back together and talk about the experience that you all had. And we check each other to make sure nobody's bleeding, because you shouldn't be bleeding because you were just setting appointments. And so, it's a difference when you have a whole army working together with you as opposed to doing it all by yourself. And then lastly, on Friday, we actually have a small business fast start training class. We already know the fast start training class. They've updated those slides. Well, we've updated ours as well. That's very similar to what they do. So bottom line, if you have someone that's interested in the small business side, this is perfect. They still get fast start qualification done by taking that class as well. So as a matter of fact, Wednesday, I'm heading up Smiling and Dialing, and there are usually other council members on there. And then on Friday, I'm doing the Small Business Fast Start training as well. And then Monday through Friday, we also have a call that's only for small business membership overview. So you can get your small business owner on that call to learn all about our small business plans and what we have to offer them. So that's it in a nutshell, but I hope to see more Shield Nation people engaging in all of that, because if you want to get your ring, this is going to be a good way to get your ring quick, fast, and in a hurry. So back over to you, Jay.
Well, Teresa, there was a question, and I see that Katie did answer it, but there are a lot of people on phones that may not be able to see the chat. Is the small business, small group training available? In other words, the full service training available virtually? Will you tell us the updates on how that works?
It is available, but let me say this, y'all. 5 hours on Zoom is a lot. So here's how they do it. If you're in an area and there is a live class, they're going to encourage you to go to that live class. But maybe you're in an area where they're not having the class, or it's too far, or maybe there are health reasons why you can't go. Then we would encourage you to take it virtually. So yes, you can take it virtually. You send a request in to full service training. Yeah, full service training at pplsi.com. So you can send that in to them, but it's tough. I've sat through a 5-hour class that actually ran a little over because it's so much. And I tell you, it's draining. But when you take the class, it's engaging. You're learning from each other, and it's more energy in the class. It's not a dull moment. Somebody told me just today that they couldn't believe how quick the time went, because they're like, is it over? And yeah, it's over until the next one. So
That's right. So I have one update. John Hoffman apologized. He said they were flying to Phoenix, which means he was flying the plane, right? So, and they got there late, so they weren't able to get on. He said, this is the time now. OKC is right around the corner, everyone. We want to make sure we are registered, get associates registered, look for roommates. If you need someone, put it on Facebook. You can put it in associate support group, or ask people I see that Brenda Daniels has a question. Brenda, what would you like to ask here?
To Katie and Carlos and Teresa, thank you so much for sharing. And I've been around since 2010, very, very part-time. And I hear you and totally agree about being full service. In other words, go through everything, have familiarity with everything. However, how do you decide to really choose your lane? We hear about having a major and a minor, because you can just get so in a circle. Oh, I'm going to do group. Oh, small business. Oh, networking. What was it that made you all decide to go into the area that you specialized in the lane that you're in? Because I think working, building a team and working with people, it is challenging.
It is. It is. But I
So,
think for me anyway, I would say I really knew that I had to do employee benefits and small business because I had left a 6-figure income, and I then I had 3 months of like like 3 months to get my act together from the company, meaning they gave me a severance package for 3 months. So I was already knocking on doors during pharmaceuticals. So I felt like I had a training and a skill level for that. That doesn't mean you have to do what I did as a pharmaceutical rep to be able to do that. But what you would want to definitely do, if you have the time, that's the other thing is are you working this part-time? Are you working it full-time? Because in my opinion, if you're working it part-time around another career, another obligation, you can partner with people and be someone who, kind of introduces, like I would introduce Teresa to the company, and she would be able to handle like some of the small business marketing or the employee benefits, but it's your contact and her skills. And so together you would be able to do it that way. There's multiple ways to do group. There's multiple ways to do small business, but a lot of it depends on if you have like someone who's a single mom and taking care of a baby, she might be more apt to have the in-home parties and having ladies of justice programs, or just the, what we used to call an open house. I mean, I don't know if that's what we're calling it still, but I mean, it's a matter of bringing people together and doing the one-on-ones and doing the opportunity with the obviously educating them on the membership. So what it really has to come down to, Brenda, and to everyone, is that, what are your goals? What is your desire? And you start with the end in mind, which it usually starts with like, what is the financial needs that you might need? If it isn't a financial need, then it's just, for me, it was like, start with the end in mind and back it off to how many people did I need to recruit? How many people did I need to see to be able to offer them our benefits, either individually or even in a company? I mean, I used to say to myself, I'm going to knock on 5 to 8 doors of doctors or hospitals or businesses a day. And I just got my pipeline full. So when I was sharing the employee benefits or the small business plan that way, there was more in the pipeline. And so therefore there was more doors that were opening. But that's what I needed to do, is you start the end in mind and then back it off as how much do you want and how much do you want to do and what is your goals. And even with recruiting, it's like I always have a monthly recruiting goal for myself. I want to recruit 3 to 5 people every month, whether they're general agents or they're individuals that are just wanting extra time and money. Then so it's definitely, Brenda, and I know that's a lot, but the point is that you really need to probably decide for yourself what it is that you want to do, and then all about all of the things by going to the small business small group. And so then you partner with people like this person's a great small business educator and offering, so you partner with them with the small business, or this woman or that man is great with groups, so then you partner with them and then until you get your own skills, and then you also do the using the prospect and all of the tools that we have to be recruiting are great. So I hope that helps, and I hope I didn't confuse anyone, but there's all kinds of ways to do it. And even if you're not 100% in one area, you can still partner with someone else and still reap the benefits of partnering with that other person. Does that make sense?
Thank
Wow.
you. I found myself bouncing around. I change and I change and I change.
Right. And a confused mind does nothing. So
Right.
that's why you want to get in your, figure out what is your passion in your lane and focus on that. But that doesn't mean you don't have the ability to partner with other people to fill those other holes that isn't your main focus.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I love that. Katie, for those of us that have been in for quite a while, I've been in for 15 years now, and we were always taught for the longest time, pick your major and your minor. And I
Right.
always felt torn because I don't know, I couldn't just figure it out. And now for me, it's like, oh, a door opened. So I love it. Teresa, did you have anything to add to that? Otherwise, we're going to wrap
So
it up.
I love how Katie explained that. But here's the thing, everyone thinks that small business is business solution. Small
Mhm.
business is still networking.
Mhm.
It's still networking. So for me, Brenda, I love small business, and I worked with small business on the small business side of the house when I worked with the military as well. So I didn't just make a decision once I got here. I had always worked with small business owners as a senior procurement analyst. And so it just felt natural for me. But what I hadn't been doing until recently, I was just really selling the small business plan. I wasn't really talking to them about their employees because I said in my head, I don't want to do group stuff. I just want to sell the small business and leave it at that. But I was leaving so much money on the table, which was crazy. And so
Mhm.
now being full service, I can have it all. I can have the cake and my ice cream, both. And that's what I love about what I do. So, really, like Katie said, find what works well for you. Find and do, whatever. When you're doing something that you love to do, it is not work. It just, Katie loves group. She's good at it. If you ask her if that's work, she'll tell you no. It just comes second nature to her. It's something that she loves to do. Find what's your passion is going to be. Even though group may not be my passion, I can still recruit to it. I can recruit a Katie to do group and help that person win. And we all still win together. So you just have to really go for what feels right for you, but be knowledgeable, because I promise you, I don't do CDLP, but if somebody come up to me with a CDLP opportunity, I'm not going to say, whoa, I don't do that. I'm going to pick up the phone and call Sharanda Ivy or Sharon Holiday, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And by the way, I did put our calendar in our chat, so you can copy it from there. So the calendar for small biz, all the different activities is in there.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, so everyone, I hope that was helpful tonight. We will have John Hoffman or Darcy. Not sure who's going to be training next week. They will be back. And like you've heard, reach out if you need help with people. Reach out to us because we're here to help. That's what this team is all about. With
I
that,
think
One other
Carlos
thing.
wanted to say
Wait,
something. Carlos?
okay.
yeah,
Go ahead, Carlos.
We have time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, I just wanted to share some things what Katie and Teresa talked about. I know when Sheila and I got involved in the business, I wanted to learn everything, and that's because I was curious about the other areas of the business. So even though we came in, we were recruiting and building a team, but I also took that group school because the group school helped me learn the product. After learning the product, I didn't dive right into group because I was scared to death to talk in front of people at one time, but it did build me up to be able to do that down the road. So we built the team, and then I did like Teresa said, we recruited somebody that wanted to do group. So we worked with that person to start doing group. That helped me even more to learn about the group business as well. So by learning all of the services and products, that gives me the ability to, when something comes up, if it's a CDLP, I can market that plan. If it's a business plan, I can market that plan. If it's a group, I can do that group. So I want it to be at least good enough to be able to do or work in those areas and not having to decide, okay, I just go this way and forget the other. No, learn what you can, learn it all. So you have that ability to go whichever route you want. And you can, whoever you bring on board, you'll be able to teach them that area as well. So that's why I like the fact about the full service associate, because now we're able to learn all the areas that's available and be able to help others in those areas as well. So take advantage of it.
And Jane, I wanted to just end on
Yeah.
one thing as well, is that make sure, even though Jane had talked about the Oklahoma City, which is critical, it's going to take your business. I can tell you, when I went to my first one, I don't know if you haven't been there, but my first one was a game changer. It took my business from, you know, just cruising to over the top when I went to my first conference back in Las Vegas back in, shoot, I think it was like 2001 or 2002. But the other part of that is to make sure you know about the breakouts that we do after the event as a team. You want to get registered for that as well, is to make sure that you get registered for OKC, but also to get registered for the breakout that we'll be doing after. So that is on, I'm assuming it's going to be on Shield Nation for sure, is where it'll
Right.
be.
Right
So
now
I-
on Shield Nation, it says stay tuned. So it is on Shield Nation under events
Good.
or
Good.
along the scroll bar at the top.
Make your
So-
reservations for after we end at 1 o'clock. So don't make your reservations before that to leave.
That's right. Yep, you got it. Fly out at 4, y'all. So with that, I think that that'll wrap it up for tonight. Have a great week, y'all. Make it happen. And we will see you next Monday night or on one of the events during the week. Bye-bye for now.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
Great training. Have a great and safe evening.
Yeah, good job, Carlos.
Night. God bless.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.